So let's see the one more use case with the help of OAuth authentication. How can we implement this? We see practically now. So first of all, let me explain the requirement, then I will show you the practical part. How can we implement? Assume that I have two systems. So this is a consumer and this is a provider. This is a provider. It is also called as resource server. So this resource server is also called as provider, simply server. In our general terminology, we are calling it as server. But as part of CRM, we have to refer it as provider. Who is providing some resource and who is consuming some resource. We are calling it as client and the server. But here, as part of CRM, we have to refer it as provider, consumer. So now this provider is having some web service. They're having a web service. Okay, this is a web service there. There is a web service at the provider side. So this is a web service they have implemented. This is a web service which they have implemented. So now this service name is account manager service. The service name is account manager service. This is the resource name. Okay, this is the resource name to which they have prepared. This is the resource name. Accounts manager service. So what this service will do, this service is going to be providing all the account, whatever the account records are available in this particular provider objects, provider organization's account object, whatever the account records are available, it will collect all the account records, those records will be providing to you. Now, here I am having the account object. I am having this account object. I am having this account object. In this account object, whatever the records are available, all the records will be. For example, in my account object, I'm having some 50 records are there. For example, I'm having 50 records inside my object. I'm having some 50 records available inside my object. Now, this particular web service is going to be collecting all the records from this object. Whatever the records are available inside my account object, all the records it will collect. It is going to be invoking this particular. Now, whenever I'm going to be invoking this web service, the web service is going to be connecting my account object, and whatever the records are available inside this account object, it will collect all the account records. It will collect all the account records. Okay, all records. It will collect all the account records, and then those records will be returning to you in the form of a list collection. Okay? It will be returning those records to you in the form of a list collection. Now, So now in this case, it will be returning what? List of account. The list of account records. It is returning the list of account records. Now, this resource name is, okay, this resource name is, I'm having the resource name. Here's the URL. I'm providing the URL over. Whenever if you want to access this resource, you have to use this URL. For example, I'm having the URL like this. https ap16.salesforce.com/services/apex and then my resource name is accounts management manager service. Accounts manager service. So this is my resource name. So this is the resource name. I'm having the resource with the name https ap16.salesforce.com/services/apexrest/account manager service. This is my resource name. This is the actual endpoint URL. This is the resource URL. Resource URL. This is the resource endpoint. So here you can see endpoint. So this is the actual resource endpoint. I'm indicating resource endpoint. Now, so I'm having this resource, so which is going to be exposing some set of account records to us. Now, that resource endpoint URL, I'm having the https ap16.salesforce.com/services/apexrest/account manager service. So this is the actual web service is available inside my provider or inside the resource. Now, what this web service will do, whenever I'm going to be invoking this web service by using this endpoint URL, this web service is going to be returning all the account records available inside this provider organization's account object. In this provider organization, whatever the account object is available, in this object, whatever the account records are available, it will collect all the account records, those records will be returning to you. This is the functionality of this particular web service. Now, in order to protect this resource, we are having an authorization server. We have an authorization server. We are having an authorization server. So this is the authorization server that we have. So this is the authorization server. I'm having this authorization server. So now this authorization server is keep on interacting with this resource server with both the bidirectional navigations. Now, so now my requirement is, okay, I would like to connect to this particular actual web service. I would like to collect all the account records. Those account records I want to show inside my result page. So this is my provider as consumer organization. Here I'm having the consumer organization. This is a service consumer, and this is also called as the client. This is called as service consumer and the client. Now, this is a separate organization. Here inside my organization, I'm having a result first page. In this result first page, I'm having a table, or I'm having a user interface. I'm having a result first page here. This is my result first page. This is my result first page. I'm indicating the result page name as show our accounts page. show all accounts page. So this is my result first page. In this result first page, I'm having a small section in order to place a button control. I'm having a small section. I'm having a small section. So inside this section, I would like to have a button control. I would like to have button control. I'm placing that message, the caption, show account records. I'm showing the message, okay, show account records. Okay, show account records. So upon click on this button control, okay, upon click on this button control, now I would like to represent the records, where I would like to have a page block. I would like to have a page block over here. In this case, in this page block, I would like to specify. I would like to place a page block table. So this is a page block table I would like to design. In this page block table, I want to show the records. Like the account record ID, account record name, or simply our account record name, and the rating value, industry, and the annual revenue, and the active status. These are the columns information I want to show. I am placing this columns information. Account record name, rating, industry, annual revenue, and then active status. So now I want to collect all the records. So as soon as once you click on this okay, show accounts button, okay, as soon as once you click on this show accounts button, immediately it has to make a request. Okay, immediately it has to make a request to the authorization server. By invoking to that authorization server, it has to collect the access token. It has to collect the access token. Once the access token has been getting received, then it has to invoke the actual resource. Then it has to invoke the actual resource. It has to invoke the actual resource. By invoking the actual resource, it has to get the response. It has to get the actual response. That response information I want to represent in the table because it is returning 50 records. Okay, it is returning 50 records. I want to get this response. So this is the request. The access token. And based on that, I need to get the response. Which will be in the form of JSON, okay, which will be account record. I'm getting the account records as a response. Here I'm going to making a request. Request for token. I'm receiving the token. Receiving the token. Now this is a process I want to implement. This is my requirement. Previously, what we did in the last session, so we have implemented a use case where I am going to be passing some case record ID. Based on the case record ID, I'm collecting the respective case details. Only one case record information I'm collecting, and the case record information I'm passing using JSON parser, and then I'm going to be representing the data in my user page. That means only one record. For that, now we have used JSON parser. Suppose if there is a case where I'm receiving some hundreds of records, or 50 records, 20 records, 30 records, then how can we parse this content here? Now, let me show you practically with some optimized mechanisms. Okay, without using wrapper classes also, I will show you practically. There is a mechanism with the wrapper class also we can do, but without using wrapper class, I can show you practically a different mechanism so that there is some simplest code with less lines of code. Okay, I will show you practically a mechanism so that it will be very useful to you in the real-time implementations. Because whenever we are integrating the application in the real time, okay, through a specific web service, it may be returning some multiple records also. At that time, we should be able to aware of how can we parse them with less lines of code. Because if I'm writing some hundreds of lines of code for the parsing, it will take more time. It will be impacting on the application performance. So that we should have to use some ready-made methods given by JSON parser class. I will show you a simplest mechanism. How can we parse? Without using wrapper classes also. I don't want to use any wrapper class. Without using wrapper class, I will do. Now let's see this case. How can we implement? Now, first of all, tell me what needs to be done. What are the steps we need to do? Anyone can explain the steps?
Create a web service.
Okay, right. Where in the provider side we need to create a web service. Okay, which will be collecting all the account records
All
from the
account records.
system. Right. Now, for example, I'm creating a web service. I'm creating a web service. Enter a system source. URL mapping. I'm indicating slash. I'm indicating account service slash star. I'm indicating a class, global class. Now I would like to indicate account records or account service, account managers or account manager service. Here I'm preparing this. I'm preparing a method. So which is a HTTP GET method. So which is going to be written in the records. I'm preparing a method global static void get all accounts. So I'm going to be using a list collection. Here I'm going to return the list of accounts. For that one I'm using list of accounts of LST accounts equals to I'm indicating select ID of the account card, name of the account card, rating value, phone, tax, annual revenue, type, industry, active status, from account. I'm returning this by name. So this is my web service, and then I'm going to return this return LST. Here I'm writing that code to get all the records. If you want to add some condition, then you can add the conditions also. No problem. Anything. Okay, for everything it will be worked out. So this is my web service which I would like to prepare, which is going to be returning all the account records available inside the account object. So this is my web service which I'm going to prepare in the provider side. So in my provider side, I would like to prepare this web service, and through this web service, I would like to collect all the account records, and then those account records I want to represent inside my user first page in the table file. Then how can we pass? We'll see practically here. Now, so this is my web service that we have. So this is the web service which I have prepared. Now, so let me go to the provider organization and then let me prepare this. So two organizations I have used yesterday. One is provider, second one is consumer. So which one is the provider, which one is consumer? Now provider is batch 329. Let me log in into that. Let me log in into the 329. Now I think already this kind of service already we have, I think. Accounts manager service. Now let's see. There is a service is available already with me. So we are having a service called as accounts service helper. There is a resource name. And then here I'm having that service which is getting that all the account records, and then which is collecting the account record ID, name, rating value, industry, annual revenue, active status, phone, fax, and the customer priority, and all this information. And let me add some more columns also inside this. Now I'm going to be adding some more columns, customer priority, and then type of the account and the ownership and the billing city, billing state, billing country. These are the columns I would like to fetch. So now here inside my web service, I'm going to fetching all the account records, which is going to be returning the list of account records to you. Select the ID, name of that account record, rating value, industry, annual revenue, active status, phone number, fax number, and then we are having the customer priority, type, ownership, billing city, billing state, billing country, and then website information from account order by. This already we have prepared in the previous session during the web services concept. Now let me save this web service. Now my web service has been saved successfully. Let me test it first, because after writing this one, we have to do the testing process first. Based on that, we can understand whether service is working properly or not. Then only we can able to expose the service to the third-party people so that they can able to access it. Now let's see here how can we test it. This is my resource name. Let me go with that workbench. Log in into the workbench right now. Let me invoke the resource. Apex REST. I'm invoking the service which is a gateway. Click on execute. Now I'm able to get all the account records. Whatever the account records are available, all the account records I'm able to see. This is the raw response. Nothing but this is the JSON format of response. So now whenever I'm going to be invoking the resource also by using my web service, okay, from the third party system, from the consumer, this is the response I will receive. You will be getting this response. This is the JSON response you will be receiving over here. You will receive this JSON response. Almost 706 lines of code. We will be having the records. Then how can we pass? If I'm writing this code manually to pass this all the 700 lines of code, it will take more time. So for that reason, I would like to use a shortcut mechanism in order to pass all this information within some less lines of code. Let's see how can we do this process. Now, from the provider side, I'm okay. I'm done. Okay, I'm done with the provider side. So now the thing is, I need to enable here. This is the web service is available. This is the actual resource name. So now, what is my resource name? Let me copy the resource name first. What is my resource name? It's the resource name. This is the resource name. Now, next one. I'm having the resource name is available with me. I'm closing this workbench tool. Now resource is available. Now the second one, I'm going to making this profile should be having with universal IP address. I'm configuring the universal IP address for this particular profile. Here it is already universal IP address is already configured. No problem. I'm done with this. Now next one, let me go with that consumer. Let's go with the consumer. I'm using the same code of that access token. Yesterday's to access token code, I would like to use same right now. I'm not writing that same code again. Just I would like to use that same code which we have prepared yesterday for that access token. Every day we no need to prepare a separate connected app in order to access the resource. Use the same connected app, same client ID, same consumer key, everything we can able to use. I'm logging into this. I'm logging into the resource. What is my provider consumer here? Training dot batch 330 at the rate CIS.com. I'm logging into the application. Let me provide the verification code. So this is my consumer organization. I'm done with the provider side. Okay, everything already we have done because yesterday itself we have created a connected app also. We have prepared, we have generated the client ID and the client secret, and then username and the password already we have, and then we are done with the resource also. Now this particular user's profile is also enabled with that login IP ranges, that means universal address. Now the thing is here, we need to implement this user interface. We have to design this user interface, and then we have to write the code in order to get the access token, and then we have to write the code in order to invoke the actual resource, and then we have to pass the content. Now, so let me show you how can we do it. Let me design the user interface first. I'm creating a page, show accounts page, show all accounts page. I'm designing a page with the name show all accounts page. I'm designing the user first page right now. I'm writing the piece of code. Now, so I'm designing my page. I'm removing this existing code. I'm setting the default properties. Setup equals to false. Sidebar equals to false. Header equals to true. Tab style equals to, I'm indicating customer object tab style. I'm indicating the section header. Title equals to accounts. Subtitle equals to all accounts. I'm indicating the form tag. I'm using the page block. I'm giving the title as accounts block. Inside that, I would like to place a button control, or directly I can able to place a page block button. Page block buttons. I'm indicating the quotation value. Quotation equals to top. I'm placing one button control. Apex command button value equals to show all account records. Okay. Show all account records. This is the button control I want to represent. So here I'm having the page block. Here I'm placing the button control show all account records. And then I would like to have one more page block to represent the Apex. Page block. I'm indicating the title, account records. I'm indicating the ID, that is PG block. So as soon as once you click on the button control, I want to refresh this particular page block. So I'm indicating here in the request to PG block. So upon click on that button control, I am going to be indicating this. Okay. So here I would like to represent the data in the form of a table. I want to represent the data in the form of a table format inside this space. So now upon click on this button control, I want to collect the data. I want to represent the data inside my business. So for that, first of all, what needs to be done? Those records are there inside my another organization. This is the separate organization. This is the provider organization, which is AP16. Now this consumer is what? AP15. Observe the differences over here. Two separate servers completely. Okay, consumer is AP15 server and the provider is AP16 server, 16. Okay, two separate organizations, two separate servers completely. Now from 15 to 16, I'm going to be invoking the resource. I'm going to be accessing the resource. For that one, we need to write the business logic. For that one, we are using the custom controller. Controller, I'm indicating show all accounts controller. Show all accounts controller. I'm preparing the class. I'm preparing a class. Here we can able to write the business logic inside. So whatever the business logic that you want, we can write the business logic inside this. Now, so now here in this case, I would like to implement the functionality. I would like to implement the functionality right now inside this space. Now, let's see what we can do. So here I would like to prepare a method. In that method, we need to write the code. First of all, we need to get the access token. To get the access token, we need some values. Okay, we need some values. So all these things already we have defined in the yesterday's session. We have written that similar kind of same two organization I'm using here also. Now for this one, I need to write the business logic. For that one, I'm going to the developer console. Here yesterday we have prepared the code in order to get the access token. This is the code that we have prepared. Access token. To get the access token, this is the code that we have prepared. Till this part is access token. Till this part is access token. Now, here I'm opening the class. Open. Show all accounts controller. Here I'm preparing a method. public string get access token. Get access token. Here I'm writing the visa. Okay. Here I'm using this access token. I'm defining a variable with the name access token. I'm preparing a method here, public string access token. Here we can make this method also as static also, no problem. Anything, whatever you want, you can specify. So now here I'm going to be using this, okay, the string get access token. This is a method which I have prepared. In this one method, I'm writing the only code in order to get access. So I'm having the request body here, and then I'm having the HTTP request class. I'm making the request to the web authentication, okay, in the point here for that to get the access token, and then I'm making the request to that endpoint. I'm getting the response. So once the response has been getting received, that response I want to store inside my access token variable. So now I'm going to be collecting this information. Whatever the response that we have received, okay, that response I'm collecting that, and from the response I'm getting the get body. I'm going to be parsing the content. Okay, I'm collecting the access token. Access token value I'm storing inside this variable. So here I'm going to be having one variable to represent whether access token has been generated successfully. Now, or else simply we can able to make this code. This code is not required for me. I'm collecting the access token. And then once the code has been getting generated, then I'm going to return the access token. Return access token. Return access token. This is the method. Now here I have prepared a separate method. This method is used to get the access. This method is used to get the access token. Now, so I'm writing some comment over here for this one. This method is used to get invoke the authorization server and get the access to. So this is a separate method we want to use in order to get the access to. Up. So I'm going to preparing one more method. Inside the result first page, I'm going to preparing one more method in order to invoke that actual resource. So to get that, to invoke that actual resource, I'm preparing a separate public while get our accounts. I'm preparing that. Here I need to specify the endpoint URL and R. Same, you have to specify. So now in this case, we have to get that endpoint URL. String accounts of service endpoint URL. So what is the account service endpoint URL? Just we have copied it. This is the endpoint service URL. Now what is my service name here in this place? AP16. Okay. So AP16. I'm having the HTTPS AP16 dot salesforce.com / services / apex rest / what is the resource name? Accounts service. Accounts service. This is my endpoint URL. Now, once the endpoint URL is available here, then we need to collect the access. How can we collect the access token here? I'm using this access token value equals to I'm calling this. So now I'm collecting the access token. I'm invoking this method. As soon as whenever I'm invoking the method, this method is going to be connecting to the authorization server, and then it is going to be invoking this access token directly. It is providing the access token. Now, so I'm collecting the access token. Once the access token is available now, then what we can do in this case, I need to invoke that actual resource. For that one, I'm using this HTTP class. HTTP accounts HTTP new HTTP. I'm indicating that HTTP request. HTTP request, ACC request equals to new HTTP request. Now we need to specify that information. Whenever we are going to be making the request, we have to specify that information. What are the details you are going to be supplying in order to fetch that information? We have to specify that information. All the details we have to specify. Now, I'm going to specify this whole information. ACC request dot set endpoint. I'm going to be indicating that endpoint over here. I'm indicating that endpoint. So this is my account service actual endpoint is available. And then I need to specify ACC request dot set method. The method is a get method. So which is going to be invoking the get method inside the RESTful web service. ACC request dot set header. I'm going to be indicating that key is equals to authorization. I'm informing to the Salesforce that I'm going to be accessing your resource because your resource is a very protected resource. So now which requires the access token. So already I have gone through that authorization process. I have connected to that authorization server. I have collected the access token by using OAuth authentication protocol. So that this is my authorization token here. So OAuth plus access token. Here is my access token. This is my access token. So please verify the access token by contacting that authorization server, and please allow me to invoke this particular service, and then which is a get method I will invoke. And then I'm using this HTTP response. HTTP response, ACC response equals to new HTTP response class. So now I'm going to invoke that request by using that ACC HTTP dot send. I'm going to be sending this request, that is ACC request. I would like to get the response. I'm storing inside that ACC. ACC response equals to I'm collecting this info. Once the data is available, then we can able to pass that information. ACC response. We can able to store that information. String now accounts response equals to ACC response dot get back. We are collecting the response information. So we are going to be collecting the response information, and the response information we can able to show on our result page also. Let me show you the information. So now we in this case, accounts response. I want to show. Instead of defining inside this, I will let you show. Public accounts response get inside. This is a type string. Now I want to show this information. Whatever the information is available, whatever the response that you have received, now this response I would like to show on my result page. For that one, I want to show this one. Let me go to my user interface. Let's reload this page now so that I will get that entire code over here. Now I want to show this information. Whatever the accounts response information is available, I want to show this information on my UseCase page inside this page block. In this page block, I want to show this information. Apex output variable. I'm indicating account record. I'm indicating accounts response. I want to refresh this page block over here, and then I want to invoke that method. Which method you would like to invoke? This is the method I would like to invoke. This is the method. I'm going to be invoking upon click on this button control. What we can do? Action property. Action equals to, you can specify that method. I'm saving this information. Now, in this case, what happened? I have prepared one button control. When I click on the button control, it has to call the get all accounts button method. Now, whenever the get all accounts method has been getting invoked, it is going to be invoking the get access token method. Get access token method is going to be connecting to the authorization server. It will be invoking the authorization server. It is collecting the access token. The access token will be getting returning back. The access token will return back. So now I'm collecting the access token value returned by this get access token method. I'm storing inside my access token value variable. Here we can able to invoke this one. I'm going to be invoking this request. When if the access token is available, then only I want to return this. For example, I'm adding the condition. If access token value is not equals to null, then only I want to invoke the actual. Then only I want to invoke that. Whenever the access token is available, then only I want to invoke this. Okay. So now let's see how can we do this. Let me invoke this resource. Click on this. Okay, show all account records. Now it is going to be getting the authentication, nothing but authorization token, that means access token. Once the access token is available, then based on this access token, it is going to be invoking the actual resource, which is going to be returning all the account records. So these many number of account records has been written. Because some 50 records, 45 records, or whatever, I don't know. So it is returning so many records. So these are the account records which it has returned. Now this is a JSON format of response which it has. Then tell me how much time it will take for me to pass this content. If I'm writing that manual coding, to pass this content will be taking more time. See, this much of lengthy code is allowed. But in this case, this is not a new one. This is the same JSON format only. You see, this is an array. Starting is array. Okay, so this is the array because it is having multiple records. The first attribute here. This is the account record. This is the attribute type is account record. So these are the details of this account information, ID value, and the name value, and the rating value, industry value, annual revenue, phone number, tax number, billing state, and the billing city, billing country, website. Okay, up to this is the first record. See, this is the first record information. This is the key name. These are the records. This is the key name. These are the records. This is the first record, and then second record also available. This is the first record information. Like the similar way, second record details are also available. Like that, we are having more number of records available. In this case, how can we parse this kind of content? So for that one, we would like to go with the simplest mechanism. So this is what the similar format will be available on. We will be having similar format will be available. Then what needs to be done is we have to use that same JSON parser class. So using this JSON parser, I have to go, okay, I have to enter into that array type. Once I have entered into the array, then we are going to be collecting this complete information. I'm collecting this complete information here, which is having some starting of the object. This is nothing but one account record information. This is one account record information. So collect this account record information. This is entire thing is nothing but one account record details. So simply I would like to pass in one shot. Okay, simply I would like to pass in one shot. I want to typecast into my account record. Let me show you practically in this case. Okay, let me do this one. Now, let me write this piece of code. Let me open that same class. Here I am going to be collecting this response. Once the response is available, then I would like to pass this content. How to pass? Now let me explain. Pass the response. And show on user first page. I'm showing on the result first page. So now here in this case, it is going to be returning how many records? Multiple records. Now let's see practically how to do this one. I would like to collect this information. JSON parser class I will do this. System.json parser. Account parser equals to system.json.create parser. I am going to be collecting the response system. Whatever the response body is available, I am collecting this response. I would like to pass the content. But that one, how can we pass the content? As usual, you know, while SEC parser that next to that equals to none. So what is the content that we have right now after this content? It is starting like as what? Array. It is starting like as array. I need to enter into the array. If it is an array, then I would like to enter into this. But this one, verify. If I would like to verify if SEC parser dot get current token equals to JSON token dot starting of the array. Starting of the array. If it is starting of the array, then what needs to be done? I need to go to the next token because the records are starting from the next one object here. Object. See, let me explain. This is the array. First of all, it is having the array. Now I'm verifying. If it is array, then I'm entering into that. I'm verifying this object. Whether it is object, I'm going to be comparing this. In this case here, once it is array, then it will be the next one will be the what? Next one will be the next one. This is the next one. I'm entering into the array. Then I will need to go to the next one. This is the next one. Go to that ACC parser dot next one. I'm verifying this whether it is array or not. If it is array, then I will need to verify. So now this kind of array is available, this kind of object is available or not. So now in this case it is starting. This is the object. It is starting, this is but this is not only the one. This is, we are having some more. Okay, this is the starting and then we will be having one more. Like up to what? Okay, up to this one. Okay. And then this is the next one here. And this is the one more. Like that, we are having multiple. This is one record information. This is the second record information. This is the third record information. Fourth record information. Like that, we are having so much information is available. So I'm going to verify this so that I will need to iterate this one. But that one I'm using while. SEC parser that get current token is equals to JSON token dot starting of the object. If it is starting of the object, then this object contains what? It is containing account record. It contains some account record because it is the starting of the object. In this object, what we have the attributes of what? One account record. This is nothing but one account record information. To get this account record information, I'm using a method called as SEC parser dot read value as. Read value as. So now by using this read value as nothing but please read this entire value, whatever we are having within this object here from starting to ending, please read this entire value as what, because this is what record information, account record information. So that here please read it as account information. Account record class. Account record. Okay, read value as. Please collect this information and then it will be reading this value as account. That means please collect this information which we have inside the object. This entire object information is related to one account record. So please this read value as an account object. So the account is the standard class. Now, but in this case, read value as method is taking this information in the form of a subject type. I need to convert into my own account type. And then I'm storing inside my account type. Account. That's it. So in this case, what happened? It is going to be collecting this account card information. Now, whatever this entire object is available, in this subject, the whole information is available, treating like as account. So it will be converting into account type, and then I'm storing inside the variable. Like the similar way, now we have used that while iterative, so that it is using the next one, preparing like as account. Third one, preparing like as an account. Fourth one, preparing like as an account. All this information. So what we need to do, once one record has been taken prepared, then I need to add inside my collection. For that one, I'm preparing the collection inside my class level. Why? Because this collection of accounts I want to show on my Visual Basic. So that I'm using this star. List accounts. Get and so now here I am going to be creating the object of this class. Here I am verifying this one. If I'm having this access token. I'm going to be creating this. LST accounts equals to new staff. And here I'm going to be adding this. Once the record is available, then I'm going to be adding this record to the collection. Like as a bulk application. LST accounts data. That's it. So that we can able to collect this account. That means what? Whatever the response that we receive, then I am going to parsing this response. How? First of all, we have to enter into this. This is the array here. After that, we are having the next token. What is the next token? I am going to the next token. This next token is I'm verifying whether it is starting this an array or not. If it is the starting of the array or not, after that I'm going to the next token. What is the next token here? This is just starting of the object. I'm verifying. If it is the starting of the object, next token I'm moving that and verifying if it is the starting of the object or not. If it is the starting of the object, then it is indicating that this entire value is nothing but one record information. So that I'm going to reading this whole value as in the form of account type. I'm storing inside my ACC variable here, and then I'm adding this record to the collection. And then after that, it is going to parsing. That means after that, we are having one more starting of the object here. It will go to the starting of the object, and then we are going to be reading this information also. And then once the record has been getting added, then I'm going to be adding to that, moving to the next collection. That means next record. Now ACC parser next token. Okay, ACC parser tab next token. So that we can go to the next token. In the next token, one more record is available. We can able to collect the information. The whole data we can represent on my Visual First page by using this list collection inside. Now, let me show you this whole information on my Visual First page. Let me load these records. I want to show the records in my Visual First page by preparing a page black table. I'm commenting this line of code. Here I'm preparing a page black table. Affects page black table. Value equals to the collection. LSP accounts. Var equals to ACC. Same chain, same code, nothing different. Apex column. Value equals to ACC dot name. Apex column. Value equals to ACC dot rating. Apex column. Value equals to acc.industry of its column value equals to acc.annual revenue of its column value equals to acc.type of its column value equals to acc.ownership ownership acc.of its column value equals to acc.phone of its column value equals to acc.tax of its column value equals to acc.active status of its column value equals to acc.customer priority. These are the columns information is available. Now let's do this so that we can able to show all the information in the form of a page insights. That's done. Now click on show all account records. We can able to see all the account records information inside your business first page with the format also in one shot. So how many records are available? I want to show the collection size also. Okay, account records. Accounts record size. I'm representing the account record size also. Now click on show all account records. I'm able to see totally 44 account records are available. These are the various account records information that we receive by invoking the third-party websites. All the records information, the name of the record and the rating value, industry, annual revenue, type value, ownership, phone, fax, customer priority, active status, all this information. Every information we can able to collect just by parsing. See how much code that we have written for this parsing. Parsing code is very, very less. Okay, here we are using only few lines of code. That's it. Even though you may be having 700 lines of code is there, we are parsed just by using objects. Okay, just because it is account record, so that we are passing the information directly into your account object type by using read value. Then you would read that entire object as a account record and then store that inside my account variable. And then that account variable I'm going to store it inside my collection. Keep on, I'm going to be adding this all the account records into my collection by iterating by using while loop, and then we can able to show all those records on your exam first page in one shot. Okay, that facility will be available to you as part of this implementation. Clear?
Sir, I have a question in this, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, for this, you said about this account.class, right? Account.parser.class. What about this post office use case?
For that one, we have to prepare because this account, these are the account records we are receiving. Right, good question. So in this case, these are the account records for receiving. But here account is already an object in our organization, so that we are using directly account.class. But post office one, it's a separate. We don't have any such object in our Salesforce instance. Then we have to go with the wrapper classes. Okay, we have to create our own wrapper class because it may be weather map also, it may be like as post office branches also. At that time, we don't have such kind of object in our Salesforce instance. Then we can go with the wrapper class. Because account is also a class, nothing else. In that account object, what we have, account table is representing in the form of account class. In that object, whatever the columns are there, fields are available, everything is representing like as variables. That's it. Same concept is available here also, nothing different. At that time, here account is already a class given by Salesforce. Directly we are using account.class. Suppose here, if that is a post office branch detail, then create your own class with the name post office branch, define the variables, and then just you can use the class name .class. That's it.
Okay, sir, understood.
Clear? This is a way we are going to be invoking the web services, and then we can fetch either one record or multiple records also, and then we can able to parse the content by using the JSON parser classes. Clear? So let me place this code. Okay. This is in the result first page. We load the third party web service. Okay. All the account records from the object by invoking the web service and represent the records in the client application. In the client application, in the visual first page, in the table of data, in the table of data. I'm indicating that web service code also. Web service code, this is for the provider side. Let me copy that web service code. And remove part from the side. Better what we can do is, whatever the access token code is available, just to place inside a separate class. Okay, create a separate class, and then in that one, copy and paste that. Whenever you want this access token, just you can call the method directly. Instead of pasting the same code again and again and again, make this code centralized. That is one best way we can do it. So this is a way we are going to be collecting the multiple records, and then we can able to represent the records on our result first page in the table of data. Now, next one. Let me explain one small use case.
So one question.
Yes.
Yeah, suppose we'll invoke the records from a custom object which is present inside the provider, but not in the consumer side.
Which
So
one?
will this suppose a hiring manager will call the records invoke the records from the hiring manager which exists in the provider organization, but not in the consumer organization.
So even
So
though it may
these
be anything, because if the integration means what we are from the client side, we are connecting to the provider, we are getting the data, that's it. Or we can insert the data over.
so
In the
this type of
consumer
code
side,
will
that is
work.
available or not, we don't know.
Okay.
Now, I will give you one small requirement now. Okay, try this one. Let me explain the requirement. Let me say this. So let me explain one more new use case. For example, I'm having two organizations. One is the consumer, or suppose for example it is a provider. So this is the provider organization. I'm having the provider organization. So inside my provider organization, I have an object. I have an object. So this is an hiring manager object. It is a hiring manager object, which is having the ID, name, location, and the resume. It may be 4 or 5 columns, whatever, anything. I'm having an object which is hiring manager object. Here I'm having the columns inside this ID column, name column, location underscore C. Here is the column here. It may be any column here. Location, for example, I'm giving just names. And then I'm having the phone column. So this is my object. Like the similar way, I have a consumer also. I have a consumer. So this is my service consumer. I'm having the service consumer at the top. So this is the provider, this is a consumer. Provider side, we have a hiring manager object. Consumer side, we are having a hiring manager. The objects may be different, whatever, I'm not bothered. Just how copy and paste it. So on the provider side, there is a website. They have a website. At the provider side, there is a website. So there is a web service is available here. Here is a web service. I'm having a web service. This service name is hiring manager service. For example, this was name is hiring manager service. This is the web service. I'm having this service with the name hiring manager service. Then how can we access this service? Now I'm having the URL. In order to access this service, we have a URL. What is the URL? I'm having the URL. https ap16.salesforce.com/services/apextest and the hiring manager service. This is a service. I'm having this service, this is the name. These are web services. Now, my requirement is, okay, now what this service will do is, this web service is going to be collecting the HR record information. Okay. Now, the web service is going to be collecting the HR record information. Once the record information has been collected, then immediately it is going to be inserting the record inside my object. It will insert the record. What it will do is, it is going to be inserting the record inside this object. As soon as whenever I'm going to passing some record information to my web service, now my web service is going to be collecting the record information, and with that information, it is going to be inserting a new HR record inside my object. Also the functionality. I have a provider. In my provider organization, I have an object. This object will be having some set of fields. Now, in this case, inside my provider, we are having a web service. The web service is going to be receiving some HR record information. Based on the HR record values, it is going to be inserting the record inside my object. That means this is a post operation. Okay? It is a post operation, it is inserting the record. Okay, now. So now my requirement is, here it is having the authorization server also. There is an authorization server is also available. There is an authorization server also available. I'm having an authorization server. I'm having an authorization server. So now this authorization server is keep on interacting with my resource server. Keep on it is interacting over here. It is interacting with this actual resource server. Now here my requirement is, as soon as whenever I'm creating a new record inside my object, okay, immediately I want to create this record inside my program. So this is my requirement. What okay? Answer the same. As soon as whenever I'm inserting a record inside my consumer hiring manager object, immediately with the same details, I want to create the record inside my provider's hiring manager object. So I want to sync the data. How? Any idea?
Future method?
How?
I think we need to call this scheduled apex scheduling, and then from that we need to call.
Not schedule. Schedule will be executing based on some specific time. But my requirement is, whenever I'm creating a new record inside my hiring manager object, immediately I want to create a record inside my provider's hiring manager object also.
Some workflow or process
Workflow,
builder.
how?
Process builder.
How?
Call the web service class in the process builder.
Process builder won't allow. Process builder doesn't have the capability to invoke your web services. Normal methods you can invoke, but web service methods.
By using future methods.
Okay, future method will be, how can we execute the future method?
Oh. By using a trigger, we can invoke a future method.
Right, correct. In this case, what needs to be done? So now in this case, I would like to have a trigger on this hiring manager object. I would like to have a trigger. I would like to have a trigger on my hiring manager object, which is some hiring manager trigger. I would like to have a hiring manager trigger, which should be getting fired. Okay, which should be getting fired on hiring manager object whenever I'm inserting the record. That means after insert. Once a record has been getting inserted inside my hiring manager object, inside my provide consumer, so now immediately this particular trigger has to be get fired, and then this trigger will be available on my hiring manager object. So there is a trigger on my hiring manager object, which will be getting fired after insert. As soon as whenever I'm inserting the record, immediately my trigger will be fired. Once the trigger has been getting fired, it has to invoke this particular authorization server, it has to insert. But trigger is what? Synchronous. That means executing within my organization. So now how long time it will take to connect to the authorization server to get the response over here, to insert the record? It will take more time also, because if the authorization server is already busy or if it is in down stage, if the server is also down stage, then at that time it will take more time to connect. So for that reason here, what needs to be done? Instead of executing immediately with the help of the trigger, what I want to do is here I would like to implement a future method. Okay. I would like to have a future method in this. I would like to have a business logic class which is having a future. I would like to have a future. This is your assignment. I'm giving the complete flow, right? Okay. The people who have done this one, I will give you 1,000 rupees gift. Now. So now here in this case, I would like to
Really,
have
sir?
a future method. Huh?
A really gift you are giving.
I will give you that. Okay. You are very anxiety, huh? Okay. Now, here in this case. So now I would like to have a future method. Now in this case, as soon as whenever I'm going to be inserting the record inside my object, then immediately my trigger has to be get fired. Once the trigger has been getting fired, it has to call a future method. Okay. It has to invoke the future method. In this future method, we have to write the business logic. Okay. In this code, we have to write the business logic. It is a future method. We have to write that business logic inside this place. So for that one, we have to write the actual business logic inside this. We have to invoke the access token also, get the access token, and then we have to invoke the business logic. Get access token. Get the access token first. Okay, so get the access token. Once the access token has been getting received, then we have to implement the function. That means we have to invoke the service. I would like to have the invoke the service. I'm indicating invoke the service. Whatever the web service that we have, we need to invoke it. So in this case, what needs to be done? First of all, we have to get the actual access token. Okay, first of all, we have to get the actual access token, and then we have to invoke the service also. Get the access token first. Now we have to connect to that actual resource aggregation server first. and by connecting to the authorization server and then get the access token. Get the access token. And once the access token has been getting received, then invoke the actual resource. Then invoke the actual resource in order to get that information. So here what needs to be done? We need to pass that information without insert it. Invoke that actual web service. And then get the response file. I want the confirmation record has been inserted. Simply just you can insert the record, no problem. Now, request for access token and response. That is access token. And here we can make a request for access token and response. I want to get the response. So this is my implementation. Okay. Understood the requirement here? See, when you go to the implementation, different scenarios will come into the picture. That's what I'm giving some multiple examples to you. So, as soon as whenever I'm creating a record inside my hiring manager object inside this consumer, immediately I want to find the trigger, and then inside the trigger I would like to invoke. Okay, I would like to invoke a feature method, and then through the feature methods I would like to invoke the call out, because here we are invoking the external web service. At that time, whenever we are preparing the feature method, generally what we are using the feature. To invoke the callouts, we have to use the parameter here, such as callout equals to true. We have to use this parameter. If you are not using callout equals to true, then future method doesn't allow you to invoke these callouts. Okay, it's a fundamental principle. In order to invoke the callouts from the future method, upon preparing the future method in the parameter, we have to specify callout equals to true. Then only it will be allowing you to invoke the callouts, nothing but to invoke the third-party web services, okay, from the future method itself. Now, so now here in this case here, so now prepare that future method, okay, prepare that future method, and then invoke this particular web service here. How to invoke everything you know, nothing different, okay, nothing different. Okay, so now whatever the record we have prepared, okay, whatever the record we have prepared, okay, collect the record information, pass the record information to the third party web service. It has to receive this particular information, it has to insert the record inside the object. You know how to prepare the web service, how to insert the record, already you know. But now the additional thing is we have to create a trigger. You know how to create a trigger. Through trigger, we are invoking the future method. You know how to invoke the methods from the trigger. You know how to get the access token. You know how to get invoke that service. You know. But just the thing is, upon passing this record to this particular future method, I need to pass this hiring manager record information. Then we have to convert this information. Whatever the HR record information that we have prepared, we have to prepare this HR record information in the form of JSON format through programming. Through programming, we have to prepare this information in the form of JSON format. That JSON format of content we have to pass to the future method over here. Then, so that here in this case, we have to use a class called as a JSON generator class. System.json generator class. By using this JSON generator class, we can able to prepare the JSON format of content, and then we can able to pass. That's it, nothing else. Okay, so now I'm giving the clue also. Okay, now try this implementation today, or else tomorrow I will tell you here. I will give you the clue. Okay, don't expect the complete thing from my side. I will give you the information. Okay, this might be one example. Okay, in the interview point of view, they may raise. Okay, So because if anybody asks an entry point of view, what kind of integration, what kind of scenario you have implemented, then you can explain these are the various scenarios we did. Okay, we got the implementation like this here. We need to sync the data from the Salesforce to some other third party. So at that time, we did this kind of implementation. So you have to explain all this information. Okay, we have prepared a trigger, we have implemented a future method, we have prepared that access tokens, and then invoking the service, passing the data. We have prepared that JSON generator class. We have used everything we can explain that. Okay, clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Nobody is responding. Nobody is responding.
Yes, sir.
Will you try? Will you try at least
Sure.
today?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Try this one today. Okay, try this one today. If you are facing any difficulty, then let me know. I will give you the clues. Okay, don't expect the complete code from my side. If nobody is done, then I will tell you the complete code also. Okay. So tomorrow we'll be having this is the integration processes. Okay, especially they are going to be expecting the REST implementations in everybody's profile and in every implementation.